Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Kate Emily, a digital marketing expert, and in this video we're going to talk about hashtags on Instagram. So this is the question that I always get asked from my clients and from my community. How many hashtags should I be using on Instagram? And if you've ever looked into this, there's a lot of different advice. A lot of people are saying the maximum number. A lot of people are saying, oh, no more than 5, otherwise you look spammy. In this video, I've done the research, so I'll be giving you a concrete answer at the end of the video. None of this wishy-washy business. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you're looking to build a brand online, then this is the channel for you. So please hit subscribe so you can be notified when my next video goes live. I talk all about tutorials, tips, strategies, and lots of stuff about digital marketing and productivity. One of my biggest tips though for growing a brand online is to create a brand story. So if you've watched my videos before, you would have heard me talk about brand storytelling a lot because it's totally my jam and I love it so much. But if you've never heard of brand storytelling, I've created an epic free guide that is all about the different strategies you can use. I've got 10 different ideas for how you can implement a brand story in your Instagram account, as well as 30 caption starters, so you never have to feel overwhelmed when it comes to writing your captions. So in this video, I'll be talking all about these hashtags. So how many hashtags should we be using, right? So if you're not aware, you can have a maximum of 30 hashtags on Instagram. And whether you love them or you hate them, hashtags are a critical element to growing your following and your reach. So they're basically how you're discovered on Instagram. So if someone searches for a hashtag that is relevant to your niche, then your posts are going to come up if you've used them. So it's a really, really important thing to nail. And there's a lot of conflicting advice and a lot of rumors about what is true and what's not true. Or there's a lot of big brands out there that are not really giving a concrete answer either. So what I've done in this video is I've researched what the top scheduling apps are doing. So why I think the scheduling apps opinion is so important is because these guys' business relies on Instagram. So they don't have a business if Instagram doesn't exist. So I would assume that they've done the best research they can into what Instagram believes is the right thing to do. And so I've looked at what they've said in blog articles, but also what they do on their Instagram account. So this should be showing us the best practices we can see. So first up, we've got plan. So they say 30 hashtags. You should be using the max number to take advantage of the opportunity to reach the most amount of people. So do Later. Later say the exact same thing. So they're two of the biggest players in this space, and they're saying 30 hashtags is a definite. Buffer. So Buffer's a really big brand as well. They say anything above 11. So that's really not helpful, Buffer. Like 11 to 30, there's a massive difference. How many do they use? Well, it depends. Sometimes they use about 23, sometimes it's closer to 25, 26. So around that mid-20s range is where they're playing. Hootsuite doesn't say anything about the number of hashtags that they recommend, plus their Instagram kind of sucks. So I wouldn't go off a recommendation from those guys. And then Iconosquare. So they only say to use 8 hashtags. They say anything more than 8 looks spammy, but when they use that many on their Instagram account, they get maybe about 2,000 likes and they've got 750,000 followers, which is an engagement rate of 0.2%. So I'm not sure if we should be trusting what they're saying when they can't actually show that they're getting good engagement from their posts. Also, I think their hashtags are a little bit rubbish, to be honest. So as promised, I'm going to give you my recommendation for how many hashtags you should be using. You ready? You ready for it? 30. I think you should be using 30 hashtags where it's appropriate. So 30 hashtags gives you the max opportunity to reach as many people as you can, but it's it's more than about the number of hashtags, it's the type of hashtags that you're using, right? So there's two things that I think are more important than the number, and that's the relevance of your hashtags. So what I mean by this is making sure that they're super relevant to your niche. They're not broad, generic hashtags that have millions and millions of posts. They're more in the, 50,000 to 500,000 range. This will mean that you're more likely to be seen in those top posts, or you're more likely to be seen just in that feed of posts and have more longevity there. Because if you're playing in with hashtags that are in the million mark, unless you're getting crazy engagement, which you might be, but if you're not, then your post will just disappear as soon as it goes in there, because as soon as you post something, it will get pushed down the line because there's millions of people posting that same hashtag on their photos. My other piece of advice is to mix up your hashtags. So this is something that Instagram came out about, is really important to ensure that they don't see your posts as spam. So if you're using 30 hashtags and you're just rehashing that same 30 hashtags every single time you post, Instagram may think that's more of a spam tactic. So what you need to do is create a whole host of different hashtag sets. And by doing this, you can then basically categorize your hashtags. So you can group them based on the types of things you like to post about, which is where brand storytelling comes in. Once you get really clear on what your brand themes are about, then you're going to be able to create these hashtag sets that are relevant to those brand themes and then be able to coordinate that all. I'm going to talk about this later in another video. So if you're watching this after the fact, then it will be up here. But if not, sorry guys, you need to subscribe and you'll see that video come out. So rather than reaching the most amount of people, it's about reaching the right people. So yeah, sure, some people might give you a like, but then are they going to follow you or comment if they're not really your audience? So really targeting those hashtags to make sure they're relevant. So if you want to know how to find relevant hashtags, I've created a video called How to Find Hashtags to Get More Followers, which you can view right now. But otherwise, just observe what other people in your market are doing, other businesses, other influencers. What are the hashtags that they're using and are they getting engagement from them? You can tell this by using the Instagram engagement calculation, which I've also talked about in another video, which you can watch now. But it's really about experimentation. So while I reckon 30 hashtags is ideal, that may not work for your brand. So you just need to have a bit of a play and experiment a little. But try using those max amount of hashtags, and you might want to try and mix it up a little by putting some of the really key hashtags in your actual caption. So things that are super relevant to your niche, community hashtags or branded hashtags, but then hide your others. So if you don't know how to hide your hashtags on Instagram, watch my tutorial on how to do this, because it's really a great way to stop your post from looking super spammy. So what do you think? Did you love this video? Please give it a thumbs up. If you did, it really helps my channel. And if you found that my answer of 30 hashtags was something that was a bit of a surprise to you, or you've heard other rumors, please pop them below, because I'd love to hear what they are. There's no concrete answer, and Instagram hasn't said this is how many you should be using, so it's really hard to judge. It's all going to be a bit of an experimentation and see what works well for your brand. Also have a look at what other businesses are doing in your industry and see if they're getting great engagement. Try and copy their strategy a little bit. Obviously don't copy all their hashtags all the time, because they won't be 100% relevant to your audience. So that's it from me for another video. So next week I'm going to be sharing my ultimate hashtag guide for 2018. I know we're coming into the end of the year, but it's really important to share this to help you with your strategy moving forward. So that video will be coming out next Tuesday, as I release a new video every week. But that's it for me for today. So until next time, bye for now.